today's history class. In the previous class we have discussed about the constitution and the preamble. Okay, in the constitution and the preamble we have learned about objectives, sources, features of the Indian constitution and how the constitution was made, what made the Indian leaders to make our own constitution. Okay, and the significance of Indian constitution we have seen in the previous class. Today we are going to see about directive principles of state policy. Okay, now what is directive principles of state policy? It is the guidelines for the government to run the government. Okay, directive principles or the guidelines, certain guidelines which is made by the leaders of India. When we take Indian constitution till 1949, we don't have any directive principles, we don't have any guidelines to run the government. Okay, because we don't have our own constitution, and since we were under the control of the Britishers, okay, we were following the same rule which they were made, okay, which was not beneficial to our Indian people. Okay, that's why after the independence of India in 1947, leaders of our India, they sat together and discussed over the welfare of the people. So the directive principles of state policy mainly concentrate on the welfare of the people of India. Okay, and when we see the features of Indian constitution or features of the directive principles of state policy. Okay, now there are four important features we have in regarding with the directive principles of state policy. What is the first one? To give or to make the welfare state of the responsibility of the Indian government. So to make the welfare state. And the second feature of Indian constitution is to provide social, economical justice to all the citizens of India. Okay, the second one is what? Social, economical justice. And the third one is to give equality, to treat people equally and to give the people equality based on the fundamental rights which is provided in the constitution. Okay, people should be equally. When we say equality, there should not be any discrimination between male or female, okay, between caste, okay, between color or creed or anything. Okay, all the people or all the citizens should be treated equally before the law. That's what equality talks about. And the last one is equitable distribution of wealth. The resources of India should be shared among the people equally, and the resources should be used only for the common good of the society, common good of the people of India. So equality, okay, equitable. Okay, these are four important features of Indian constitution. What are they? The first one is to make the welfare state of India. The government should provide welfare state. Okay, welfare of the people of India. Second one is social and economical justice to all the citizens of India. And the third one is equality. People should be treated equally. And equitable. The resources of India or the wealth of India should be shared equally among the people. And the wealth should be distributed and used for the common good of the people of India. That's what features of India talks about. And the next thing, when we see directive principles of state policy, when we say directive principles of state policy, it is characteristic or classified under three sets. Okay, what are the three classifications? The first one is The first one is principles providing economical equality. We can say, okay, it is the general principle, okay, providing economical equality. And the second principle is Gandhian principles of economical and social development. Okay, Gandhian principle. Second one is Gandhian principle. What is Gandhian principles talks about? It talks about the social and economical development of the people. Okay, and the third one is general principle. Okay, general principle, or you can say general guidelines. Okay, what are the three classifications? The first one is the principles that is promoting economical equality. Okay, principles that are promoting economical equality to the people. Second one, Gandhian principles based on social and economical development. And the third one is general principles. Now we will see all these things one by one. Okay, the first one is principle promoting economical equality. What is economical equality, or the principles promoting economical equality? The first thing, when we see, already I told you, the directive principles mainly based on equality. Okay, the distribution of wealth must be among the people, should be in an equal share, and the wealth of India should be used only for the common purposes, or the beneficial of the common people in the society. Okay, and the second one is providing adequate livelihood to the people. Okay, providing adequate livelihood. Okay, what is the first one is providing distribution of wealth equally, and the second one is adequate livelihood to the people is the major concern of directive principles of state policy. And the next one is equal pay for equal work. Okay, there should not be any discrimination among male or female. Okay, for the same work, same payment should be given to the people. The wages should be provided equally. And the next thing is right to work. Okay, why this right to work is given in the directive principles? To avoid unemployment. So there won't be any unemployment in the society, because everyone should be provided work. Okay, so the right to work is another guideline to the people. According to that, everyone in the country should work. Okay, and providing assistance. Okay, who all are getting assistance? Who all can get assistance from the government? There are four set of people they can get the assist from the people. The first one is old age people, and the second one is unemployed people, and the third one is disabled people. Okay, these are the people they should get the assistance from the government. And the last one is providing decent livelihood. Okay, decent way of living. Okay, if they wanted to live decently, okay, what is the important thing? It is getting good opportunities, job opportunities that makes the people to live better. And we will see, this is the first classification of the directive principles. Now we are going to see about the second classification, that is Gandhian principles of social and economical development. What Gandhian principles talks about? According to Gandhian principles, Gandhi has given more importance for education to the children. Okay, so free and compulsory education to the children from the age 6 to 14. Free and compulsory education. And the second one is promoting cottage industries. Okay, promoting cottage industries. And the third one is prohibiting slaughter of cattle. Okay, killing cattle or any animal is not allowed. And the third one is prohibiting intoxicating drugs. Okay, so no permission to use any drugs. But now our Indian government has given permission, okay, to open shops to sell the drugs. But it is not given according to the government, according to the Directive Principles, which is in the Gandhian state of Directive Principles. It is clearly said that we should not be use any intoxicating drugs. Okay, and the next one is promoting village development. Okay, mainly the cottage industries we have seen. And the next one is given important for health care. Okay, given important for health care. When we say health care, providing nutritious food to the children, mainly focused on providing nutritious food to the children. So these are the important guidelines, Gandhian principles, which is joined in the Directive Principles of State Policy. And some of the things that comes some of the principles that comes under the general policies. We will see what are the general principles that comes under the Directive Principles. Okay, now we will see what are the general principles. For example, promoting peace and security to the people of India is the general guidelines which is given by the Directive Principles to the government. Okay. Now in the welfare state, what happens in the welfare state? The government functions based on the welfare of the people. All the laws, all the principles which is focused mainly on the welfare of the people to bring social, economical development among the people of India. That is the main thing. The general principles talks about the peace and security among the nation or among the country or among the states, among the districts. Okay, it is the main motive of the Directive Principles. The second one is legal aid to the people. Now, who can get the legal aid? Okay, the legal aid can be gained by the weaker section of the society. Okay, either it can be economically weaker or even the women in the society. Okay, mainly the people, those who are under exploitation, can get the legal aid from the government. The court will provide the lawyer or the judge to file the case for the people and to inquire for their needs in the court. Okay, these are the important general principles that is given in the Directive Principles. Now we will see what is the difference between the fundamental rights and the Directive Principles. See, both fundamental rights and the state policy is regarding the welfare of the people, which gives the support and which concentrate on the beneficial of the people of India, to the citizen of India. But there is a difference between the state policy and the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are the basic rights which is given to the people of India. Okay, if any fundamental rights is exploited or people are refuse to get their fundamental rights, they have the right to get the basic rights which is exploited through the court. Okay, so the fundamental rights are enforceable. Okay, fundamental rights are enforceable. If any of the fundamental rights are exploited, they can get the fundamental rights from the code. Okay, but the directive principles are not enforceable. They cannot get this fundamental rights through filing a case in the court or anything. Example, if anybody is getting less wage, they cannot go and file a case in the court. Okay, so it is not enforceable. Directive principles are not enforceable, but the fundamental rights are enforceable. Okay, if any court is not giving you your fundamental rights, you can directly go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is responsible for you to give your fundamental right, the basic right. Okay, now we will see how these fundamental rights or how these directive principles are implemented. Okay, for example, the state, the main motive of the state is welfare state is to provide equal opportunity to the people. Okay, in regarding with that, our government has given different welfare measures to the people in the lower section of the society, like SC, ST and the other backward classes. Even the 1/3 of the seats are provided to the women in the society. In that way, our government is so concerned of the people and the welfare of the people of India as a whole. So children, we have learned in this class about the directive principles and the state policy. First we have seen about the features of fundamental directive principles. Okay. After that we have seen the 3 classification of the directive principles. And again we have seen the explanation of the 3 classification of the directive principles. And also we have seen the difference between the fundamental rights and the directive principles. When we see the Indian constitution is divided into different parts. Okay, the directive principles comes under the 3rd part of the Indian constitution, and the fundamental rights, directive principles comes under the 3rd part of the Indian constitution, and the fundamental right that comes under the 4th part of the Indian constitution. What is the importance of fundamental rights? If any of the fundamental rights are exploited, you can get it. It is enforceable. But the directive principle is not enforceable. Okay? Children, here we end the class. We will meet again in the next class. Learn your portion, read your textbook and mark. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the class. Okay? Thank you, children.